Yeah. Yeah. Well, good morning. Welcome to All Souls, where we love beyond belief. Here at The Point, agnostics, atheists, humanists, and all kinds of seekers gather in community. No matter what you believe or don't believe or where you come from, you are welcome here and you are loved. I'm Assistant Minister Randy Lewis, and I'm joined on the chancel today by our own affiliate minister, Reverend Gerald Davis, and we're both excited, we're both excited to be with you in service this morning. We also have special music today by Cynthia Simmons Taylor. So looking forward to hearing that. And welcome to our online viewers, those who are watching from all over the world. We're so glad you've joined us today. Now, if you are a first-time guest with us today or new to All Souls, we have a very special gift for you. Now, the ushers are coming forward. If you raise your hands, ushers are coming forward. You raise your hands, and they have a gift for you today. You also are invited for some light refreshments and a chance to meet with a Welcoming Souls team member after the service in the Sonnen Library, which is right out of the chancel doors, through the chancellor's door to your left there. And if you're online, please consider staying for our after-service coffee hour conversations. Now, if you will, please join me in our covenant that's printed in your order of services. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Our chalice is lit today by long-term member Rod Harwood. Rod currently serves on the care team and on the board of trustees. Rod Harwood.
Thanks, David. Thank you, David. As we light this chalice this morning, we honor the spirit that has shaped our nation. May this light remind us of our history, the struggles and triumphs that define us. In this flame, we see the reflection of our past, the promise of our future, and the strength in our unity.
I get to tell you a story today. It's actually a poem by Bell Hooks, illustrated by Chris Roshka, called Skin Again. The skin I'm in is just a covering. It cannot tell my story. The skin I'm in is just a covering. If you want to know who I am, you have got to come inside and open your heart way wide. The skin I'm in looks good to me. It will tell you one small way to trace my identity, but then again, the skin I'm in will always just be a covering. It cannot tell my story. If you want to know who I am, you have got to come inside. Be with me inside the me of me, all made up of stories, past, present, and future. Some true to life, and others all fun and fantasy, all the ways I imagine me. You can find all about me, coming close and letting go of who you might think I am. Before you come inside and let me be real, and you become real to me, all real then, and that place where skin again is one small way to see me, but not real enough to be all, the me of me or the you of you. For we are all inside, made of real history, real dreams, and the stuff we all hope for, when we can be all real together on the inside. I invite our children and youth to come to Sunday school so that we might take some time to learn about each other and ourselves so that we can be real together on the inside.
in this moment as we navigate life's transitions together. Embracing both joy and sorrow, we recognize our imperfections and the ever-evolving nature of human relationships. Today, let us honor the bonds that connect us, the shared experiences that shape us, and the enduring spirit that sustains us. Today we hold space and offer our condolences to our own Rick Fortner and family on the loss of his father, Rick Fortner Sr., who passed away June 29th. Condolences to member Kayla Calvert and family on the loss of her grandmother, Mary Carver, who also passed away on June 29th. And we hold space for Janet Allen concerning her health challenges. We hold space for Katerina, Robert, and Jude Norman on the many challenges they face as a family. And we hold space for Giacomo Tesaro on the loss of his friend, Jenna. May we each find the strength we need in the hour that it is needed the most. As we enter into a brief moment of silence, let us continue to hold each other in our thoughts and intentions.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. I tell you, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking down the ribbon of a highway, I saw above me the endless skyway. Now I saw below me the Golden Valley, and I said this land was made for you and me. As I was walking, no one dared to stop me. They put a sign up, it said private property. Well, on the backside, you know it said nothing. So it must be that side was made for you and me.
on, church. I know you don't like me to say church, but you know that's just the way I am. It's good to be back with you again. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, it's always a time when I show up. You know, it's hot outside, heat wave, hurricane, tornado, all kinds of weather problems happening. Marlon's gone. Then you say, well, Reverend Gerald gonna be in the pulpit. All of these things mean only one thing. Here come Reverend Gerald. Well, I'm here, church, because I got a message for you. You know, we talk about the American story too much. The American story, as if it's only one. So I thought, well, maybe we need to just bust that wide open, because we have come from different places and we have seen and done different things, but we find ourselves here not conforming, but being ourselves. And when you are yourself, that by definition says variety, says difference, and difference is fine. So I wanted to speak this morning then on this whole idea of the American story, and it brought me to a place long ago when I was 12 years old. That's 62 years ago, church. Do the math. And so when I was 12 years old, I was a very good student at my segregated school, because in those days there weren't integration. It was segregation. You stay over there, we'll stay over here. As if that was the best way to do it. Well, it wasn't, but you know, we have to go through things in order to understand better things. So during our segregated times, we had different competitions that involved all the schools. So in my little hometown of Sapulpa, Oklahoma, in my little segregated school of Booker T. Washington, we had a spelling bee. And if we succeeded in that spelling bee, you went to the larger spelling bee in Creek County. And I was 12 years old, and church, I won my school's spelling bee. Yeah, that's what I said. So when the time came to go to Creek County spelling bee, my teacher, Lillian J. Elliott, and my sister, and I went to the Creek County spelling bee, and church, wouldn't you know it, Reverend Gerald won that too. Ooh, that's what I said. So I was a winner of the Creek County spelling bee, which meant I got to go to Tulsa to compete in the statewide spelling bee. And whoever wins that goes to Washington, D.C. for the national spelling bee. So I was excited, and Lillian J. Elliott, my teacher, and my sister and I all drove to Tulsa to compete in the spelling bee championship. Well, Reverend Gerald didn't win that. But that was okay. As a consolation prize, all the spellers who were champions were given a free ticket to go see a movie. And that movie was Dr. No, featuring Sean Connery. Some of you all remember that. That was the first James Bond movie. Dr. No was the first James Bond movie. And Sean Connery was the James Bond. So here we are. We went to the movie theater that was somewhere downtown. That was back in the day when there were downtown movie theaters. And we went to the movie theater. We stood in line. My sister, Mrs. Elliott, and I stood in line. And we got to the ticket taker. And the ticket taker said, "You can't go in." Well, I was stunned. And Mrs. Elliott said, "You all, my sister and me, you all go stand over there." And Mrs. Elliott tore into that ticket taker. She talked smack to that ticket taker about how this was an injury to this champion over here. And so the bottom line is the ticket taker went to get the manager. And the manager came out. And for those of you all who are wondering Why they wouldn't let us in? Remember segregation. And so a black child could not go to the movie theater in downtown Tulsa and sit downstairs and watch the movie. No black person could. And so the ticket taker was doing her job. She said, you can't go in. But she brought the manager. Manager shows up, and Mrs. Elliott tore into him. And he says, okay, the kids can go in, you can't. And Mrs. Elliott said, fine. I want to see Dr. No. So she went to her car, and my sister and I saw the movie. And we came out of the movie, nothing happened, in terms of, what are you doing here? Nothing like that. We came out of the movie theater, got in the car with Mrs. Elliott, and we started on back to Sapulpa. And Mrs. Elliott turned to me and said, Gerald, I want you to remember this. Never let anyone determine your worth. Now, I was 12 years old, and I still remember that. And I have tried to live up to that, and sometimes people don't like me because I live up to that. But that's what it is. Don't let anyone determine your worth. So that's an important part of this message that I'm about to give you all, because we live in a state of Oklahoma where there is much hustling and bustling about the right thing to do, including let's put up 10 commandments in every school room, not just the school room. And let's hire these pastoral counselors who are going to come in and tell these children about what it means to be a Christian nation. But church, this is not a Christian nation. It was not. It was not formed to be a Christian nation. And don't let some of those crazy people tell you that. Folks fled Europe to this place for religious freedom. And so it is important for us to get the history right. And that's the key to everything. If we try to deal with people on the standpoint of their version of history, it never goes anywhere. But that's okay, because we know what the history really says. So I learned something from that problem with the person who wouldn't let us into the movie theater. But what I really learned was what Mrs. Elliott told me when she said, you have to be the person who decides for you. You don't let other folks decide, you decide for yourself. Which brings us to the second little story I want to tell you. On June 26th, I turned 74 years old. Yes, I know I don't look it. I know. But that's all right. I'm 74 years old. I'm moving on, church. I don't intend to stay over there. I want to go on and find out what's over there. So I'm 74 years old. I'm turning June 26th. I'm turning that. And I hear on my favorite radio station, KWGS, Public Radio Tulsa, which I support, by the way. I was listening there, and I heard them say there's going to be a spelling bee. I said, whoa, on June 26th. I said, whoa, I have to go. I have to be in that spelling bee. June 26th, I love to spell on my birthday. Let's go. And so my daughter, who was home from grad school in Washington, D.C., said, well, Dad, upon hearing your message that you want to go to be in the spelling bee, I want to do it too. So my daughter and I went and entered and went down to Fulton Street Books on Greenwood for the spelling bee on June 26th. And I know some of you all were there. As a matter of fact, I found out, well, I'll tell you that later. But June 26th, on the spelling bee day, we were there. My family was there. I think they're here even, now. So they were there for the spelling bee championship, and it was a bunch of people who were entered. At least my number was 24, so it had to be more than 24 people, maybe. Or maybe it was 24. But anyway, the bottom line is I was there and ready to roll. And the words began, And church, I was a good speller because I read. And I'm a good speller now because I read. And so I heard the words and I said, yeah, I can do that. So when it came to me, I spelled all the words quickly because they were familiar. Well, we went on down and folks had to sit down, little tricky little words, and folks sat down. It only left 4 people, and I was one of the 4 people. And so a thing happened, church, that I want to tell you about, that I want you to understand is real. There's this thing called temptation of doubt. Doubt, church. D-O-U-B-T. That's right. Doubt is one of those things that will make you stand still. And you say, I don't know. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. And that means you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. Doubt is a tough little number. But that wasn't part of me because I was, rocking and rolling. But then with just the 4 of us, the words got a little harder, church. And some of those words I never heard of. And I was thinking, I wonder if one comes to me, will I know it? Of course, I won't know the word. How will I be able to spell it? Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. Doubt was saying, yeah. You don't just see that you're not going to win this because you have me. Doubt on your shoulder. But I still stuck it out. Finally, it came to me with this last round, 4 people. And my word was bourgeois. Bourgeois. Now, back in the day, we used to say, instead of saying bourgeois, we'd say bougie. That person is bougie. Bourgeois, it's middle class, and they're not like other folk. That's right. They're not. So bourgeois was the word, and I said, now I know, but church, I lived in Belgium for a year learning French. And I taught for a year in Zaire in French. So I know some French. At least back then I did. But I still know now some French. I know bourgeois. But I let that thing on my shoulder called doubt say, nah, this is a hard word for you. You haven't said bourgeois in a long time. And you can't spell it. And so I went, oh, wow, here it is, bourgeois. So I spelled it, church, B-O-U-G-E-O-I-S. Bing, that's not bourgeois. Bourgeois is B-O-U-R-G-E-O-I-S. Yes. I said, oh no, of all the words, I know it was B-O-U-R, and I sat up there and let that doubt make me think I couldn't do it. Well, church, I sat down and I was kicking myself because I did not do something important like that. But then I found out in the first service, the person who won that spelling bee is a member of All Souls. She came up and says, hey, I won that spelling bee. I said, go on with your bad self. But church, that's a beautiful thing. All Souls does have smart people going here. I know. That's true. But the thing that I want you to understand, church, is that you can do that to yourself too when you have that temptation of doubt. There's some things that are just, no, I'm going to do this. It's the right thing to do. Now, the right thing to do can get you in trouble as well. But I'd rather be in good trouble than bad trouble. And that's the thing. So we as All Souls members, we have a vision statement. And our vision statement says that we welcome everyone. Everyone. We're not saying you have to believe this in order to come in here. We say we love beyond belief. We say that. Now, doubt will be on your shoulder saying, how can you do that? But we can do that because we are able to overcome structures of evil with that compassion and justice and love that is inside of us. And that inside of us comes out when we allow ourselves to be in proximity with people. We're not going to just talk about folks away in our rooms, our houses. We're going to get out here and be around people and talk to people with that justice, love, compassion element that is inside us, and let it come out. Because who knows? Maybe that person wasn't thinking. They were just doing what everybody said to do. So that reminds me of something else that happened. I don't know if you remember the Chautauqua speaker who came, Vanessa Adams Harris. She was Rosa Parks. Well, in real life, she is my assistant over at Church of the Restoration. And she also gets paid from the John Hope Franklin Center for Reconciliation. And she was extended an invitation to fly to England, Liverpool, to present a paper about John Hope Franklin at this center. This center is the Desmond Tutu Center for Reconciliation and Peace and Reconciliation. So she was representing the John Hope Franklin Center for Reconciliation over in England, in Liverpool, of all places. If you know about your history, that's where the ships were built that went to Africa and got enslaved people, took them to these United States, and then went back to Liverpool to deliver the cotton. And those then were marketed all through Europe. That's how that Middle Passage went, right? Liverpool was a big slave ship building place. And so they built on that place the center, Desmond Tutu Center for Reconciliation, which I think is wonderful. So there is Vanessa Adams Harris there to give her paper. And what do the British people say to her at first? They say to her, "What about this Ryan Walters person? Your state superintendent of schools who wants 10 commandments in every classroom? Tell us about that." So she told me, she said, all the way to England, I got a deal with Ryan Walters. But Ryan Walters is wrong, church. He's wrong. This is where he is. The way that children learn to behave is when adults are teaching them how to behave. It's not a bunch of words on the board that's going to make them behave. It's what it's teaching. And then here's the other thing. Have you found out what's going on in that child's home? What's going on back home that child is misbehaving here? There are all kinds of ways to understand how to correct children rather than putting up you must be this person, and then putting the lie that says this is a Christian nation. This country has never been a Christian nation, and we know that. But this is how people are getting over without telling the truth. It's important for us to know our history and then tell it. Don't just hold it. For instance, the Statue of Liberty. Everyone says the Statue of Liberty was there. Give us your tired, your huddled masses yearning to be free. That was not on the Statue of Liberty. The person who sculpted the Statue of Liberty did not have that poem in front. That poem came later. The Statue of Liberty was given to this country because this country abolished slavery. That's why it came in. And there were going to be shackles on the hands of the Statue of Liberty, but folks didn't want that. So the artist said, okay, the shackles are on the feet of the Statue of Liberty. Well, right now, you can go and see that. They're broken. The shackles are broken because we abolished slavery. That is the history. That is the truth. But we don't always get the truth if we're not looking for the truth. So you can't just hear people. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, go look it up. That is, we got our phones now. That's all you got to do. Let me Google this. Does the Statue of Liberty have shackles on her feet? Yes, she does. They're broken. They're broken. But this is the point. As long as we allow our leaders to make us think there is the American story, who gets to tell the American story? There is no the American story. It's our American story because it's different. It's different. There are people who have come to this country seeking just what the Statue of Liberty says. We are here to help you. And they've come to work, to be better than where they were back there, and to have their children understand a better way of life. What's wrong with that? Let those people come. And I know you got to have, some kind of system to let them in, but that's called asylum, right? And for all those children who were born in this country, but their parents are immigrants and maybe not have citizenship, we call those kids the DACA children. Those kids need to be extended citizenship. It is ridiculous because they want to be here and they want to be productive. Why would we make them anxious about being returned to some place they never grew up in? This is what I'm talking to you this morning, that we as good people need to understand that we can do this by being loud about what we need. We don't need to just say, okay, the American story, I'll go with that. No, we need to correct those folks who talk about one American story. It's our American story. It is you and me being able to be ourselves. And that's the beauty of bringing people coming into this place. That's the beauty of that. And exposing our kids to people who have come somewhere else. If you have lived outside of our country, you know what I'm saying is true. You see all kinds of people who are magnanimous. They show you and want you to be part and to see who they are and see where they came from. How come we can't do that here? We can do that. Come on in. Yeah, they're going to take, and I heard this guy, 45, who said something about letting immigrants in will take away black jobs and Hispanic jobs. Now, so that became a thing. My daughter, who is really tech savvy, she says, we start asking her, now, what's a black job? What's a Hispanic job? But that's the way those folk think. That, okay, that's reserved for the melanated people. The melanated people get this kind of jobs to the rest of it. Isn't that horrible? If we call ourselves the United States, we are united. We don't have any black jobs and Hispanic jobs. We are trying to do our best with what we have. And what we have is opportunity. But it's not great opportunity until we have equal opportunity. So everybody. So church, I call you church, and I already told you why I say church. Because the Greek word for church is ekklesia. And ekklesia means called out. Those folks who are called out to come on in here, you're called out from all that other stuff. And so, yeah, I use the word church. I use that because that's what I'm used to doing. Ecclesia, that's what I'm doing. So if you're called out, that's why you're here. That's why you're here, because you heard a call that said, I need to be here. But I'm moving on to this point right here. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And I know you've heard that before. It's a big responsibility. You say, God, it's so much I have to do. But it is possible. Why is it possible? Because it's inside of you. You made a decision when you decided to join this place called All Souls, or when you're deciding whether or not to join this place called All Souls. Maybe you want to see, are they really for real? Yes, we are for real. We mean to be that kind of place where everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. This place, as a matter of fact, I was so happy that Hannah Middlebrook, who is Director of Operations, has convened a committee called the Accessibility Committee. Yeah, and that Accessibility Committee says, hey, and I tell you this, if you live long enough, you will be disabled. That's the truth. But I'm telling you that some of us out here have different abilities. Yeah, and it's okay to be here in this place, because this place says we're going to make sure anybody with any kind of different ability will be able to navigate this place. And, and the reason why we're doing that is that we say we love beyond belief. We say that way. If you love beyond belief, you're thinking ahead of people who are coming in, who are saying, I need a little help here. We're going to give you that help, because disability means to us accommodation. That's all it means. If you're disabled, it means accommodation. We are not going to allow anyone to separate us from each other. Ain't going to happen. I hear my people back there. I hear you. You know, we are in a place right now. We're in a place right now where it's so easy to just turn our backs and say, I'll just go along with the flow because, you know, I don't want any trouble. I just want to go along and kind of get along, right? That never wins. Let me tell you, it never win that way. That's why John Lewis talked about good trouble, because we have to make things change. And the way you make things change is you say, this is not working for me. This is not working for my friends. This is not working. We need to change it so that we can work. Well, you're a minority. No, we're not a minority. We're human beings who love. And human beings who love think beyond just what's good for me. I'm thinking about my neighbors. I'm thinking about my coworkers. I'm thinking about all the folks who are different. That's why it's important for us to be in a place like this, because you got backup back here. You got backup. You're not by yourself. You're part of a justice league. That's right. Justice. You're part of it because that's who we are. We work for justice, and justice will always come out. What did Cornel West say? Justice is just love in public. That's all it is, love in public. That's justice. We are part of who we always wish we had. We say, well, I wish we had it. No, it's you. It's you and me, and we can do this. Now, I'm getting hoarse. That means I need to sit down. But before I sit down, I want to tell you this. We don't condemn folk. I know I called out Ryan Walters, but he's a human being too. But Ryan Walters got a long way to go, as opposed to just a few of us, right? He's got a long way to go. You know why? Because he's caught up in this idea of power. And power is something that will take over you. You won't be able to, well, let's do this. This seems better. No, if you want to stay in power, you do it this way. And that will taint a human being's spirit because they're only thinking about power. And power cannot win over love. I'm here to tell you, it can't do it. Love will win. I know we may be saying, I'm telling you, I know we may be saying love may not be able to do this. Love, we got all these people that are so they're so focused on being in power. They're not listening to us, and our voices are so small. Maybe one voice is small, but when voices are united together, they're not small anymore. They say, whoa. That's why voting is so important, because people think, well, my vote is just one. One vote can win an election. It's important for us to band together, to work together, to make this a better world. Our vision statement says that. That's why we're open to everyone. That's why we are, because we're going to make this a better world. And our antecedents who came before us seeking this place because they could have religious freedom, yes, we're going to support those people. So you can be a Muslim and not worry about Sharia law, right? No, we can be a Muslim and be who you are. You can be Hindu and be who you are. You can be Buddhist and be who you are. And you can be all of that and come here. And we're going to say, you're all right with us. Yeah. We're gonna do that because we're talking about fundamentals here. And the fundamental thing is love. It's a 4-letter word, and I like it. That's a fundamental fact. When we have love, we can overcome. Yes, there will be some times when we get pushed back and some of our heroes and sheroes are slain because of ignorance. Yes, but that does not mean that we can't overcome that. It is up to us. You hear me? We are the ones we've been looking for, because love will overcome hate. Amen.
Wow, yes. I felt such a release in that message. Yes, thank you, Reverend Gerald. Wow. Yes, here's the room. I heard it the first time, but he added more in this service, and it's just so much more. But I just felt like when I was in my Baptist church, I'd get up shouting, and I felt like shouting. I know this is a humanist service, but we still have some history, right? We can what? Yeah, we can clap. We can clap, Rick said. Yes, so today, for our offering, we are supporting the League of Women Voters of Metropolitan Tulsa. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. So when the offering comes around, please give generously. And if you are giving to the offering, please mark on your check offering, so that will go to the League of Women Voters. And for those making a pledge payment to All Souls, please clearly mark on your check church. This helps our finance team ensure that your generosity reaches the right destination. Now, but before we receive this morning's offering, I do have a few announcements. And first, I do want to welcome back our own Rick Fordner. He's been away for a while. So we missed you, truly missed you. Now, if you're ready to join as a member of All Souls or want more information about membership, please join us at 12:45 today in room 203. We do also, our religious exploration program needs volunteers. So we're looking for church members who are ready to take the next step and join one of our 3 committees. That's for adults, children, and the youth religious education programs. Now, if you are interested in volunteering with any of these groups, please contact Shannon Boston. And for all of our new members, we want to make sure that you are aware that at any given Sunday, we can schedule a child dedication. This is a very special ritual for children 13 and under. So please reach out to the front office or to our life events coordinator, Casey Selby, for additional information. Now, after the service today, we are continuing the conversation. So join us for Let's Chat. That's in the Alliance Room, and where we'll be discussing today's message. And for more upcoming programming and volunteer opportunities, please check your order of service or our website. We now will receive this morning's offering for the League of Women Voters of Metropolitan Tulsa. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad you've joined us today. Wow, what a service. And before Reverend Davis comes with our benediction, remember, if you are a first-time guest or new to All Souls, we invite you to a special meet and greet in the library just outside the sanctuary doors to the left. And if you're online, please stay for our coffee hour conversations immediately after the service. And now I'm going to walk down to extinguish the chalice as Reverend gives the benediction.
And now, may the melody of our worship, the harmony of our coming together, and the rhythm of our goodbyes make music our living, that we may go from this place and live full lives with melody, with harmony, and with rhythm, and return to sing our songs and tell our stories. And the ecclesia was heard to say, so it may it be so.
May it be so.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island.
From where else?
From the Redwood Forest.
And where else?
To the Gulf Stream waters. I tell you, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking down the ribbon of a highway, I saw above me, oh, that endless skyway.
What else did you see?